What's up, everyone? Before we get into today's episode, I want to give a quick thank you to all of our lovely patrons over at patreon.com/Karstcast. If you're looking for a great way to support us, the best way to do so is by going to the Patreon. Because, yes, we do this podcast for free. We do not have sponsors. We simply do it because we have a lot of fun doing it. But if you want to find a way to make the podcast better, to support us, if you really love the show and you're a consistent listener, head on over to the Patreon. We have a ton of cool perks. For example, we do monthly Zoom hangouts where we all hang out. You guys ask questions. We ask questions. We play GeoGuessr. They're a lot of fun, and we do them on a monthly basis. We also have exclusive bonus episodes twice a month that you can check out. And if you are a $15 patron, you can get your question answered in these real episodes if you feel like you have something to ask us. Not to mention the shout-outs at the end of every episode, which you'll hear today. So the point is, if you're looking for a great way to support us, head on over to patreon.com/Karstcast. And without any further ado, enjoy the episode. Hello. Welcome to the 93rd episode of the Karstcast Moviecast.
Big number 93.
Big number 93. 7 more episodes until we're at the big hundo.
And then we're doing our
Giant
I keep wanting to say I want to say listicle. Is listicle a thing?
Our listicle list. Yeah, that's not a thing at all.
I'm sure there's a website called Listicle.
Yeah, listicle.org.
Doesn't sound good though. There shouldn't be.
No. Jeff,
Dude, it's been a while since we've done this.
It's been a long time, yeah. It's because, there was Jared, and there was
Jared,
and there was holidays, and now
we're back at it. I was wearing, right when we started, I was wearing a black hoodie like you were.
And then
I thought that the mood of that was kind of weird to have two guys wearing black.
I thought we looked like
hoodies.
two characters in The Social Network, kind of. Like we were just very casual. We look like college students, and we are not college students either.
No, I mean, you're almost. Here's the thing. You.
I
totally
like to say it though.
Look like a college student. Like I think maybe, I still pass for 26.
Oh, you could still look like a college student.
Yeah, that's the vibe I generally give off is later mid-20s. I think
Right.
So, but you definitely are still easily 21.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I'm 23. But okay, I also just shaved last night, so I guess I look a little... You know what I've decided? I've been on and off since October with the mustache, and I've decided I'm done with it. I think it's run its course.
Okay, that's good, because that's my thing.
Okay, yeah. I was like, there were some... I was trying to find something for an episode recently, so I had to go back and look at an older one from October, and I didn't know how bushy I looked. It was really there at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, but getting there.
You've had some big October looks since we've done this podcast. Because we've had 2 Octobers. And I think the first October is when you had the pink orange hair.
Yep.
It was supposed to be orange, but it was pink.
It was... No, it was,
right?
it was supposed to be
it was
pink.
supposed to be pink, but it was orange.
Orange. I really wanted... What the goal was there was baby pink. And I obviously did not come close. I got salmon.
It kind of worked.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it looked real. I won't lie. I really liked the way it looked the first day. And then it slowly got more orange. And then it eventually was just a peach. And then it was just blonde. And then by the time I hit LA, I just had frosted tips. And I was like, wow. That was a choice that lasted a long time.
Dude, if this was 2001 and you were Jonathan Taylor Thomas, that was the look.
Raking in rolls, yeah. Be playing the Tangerine Bear.
You would have been getting home for Christmas just on time to get your dad's car.
Yeah. I didn't ask you, Jeff, but what year did legendary actor Heath Ledger die? This is the trivia question. I didn't just randomly ask him that.
No, so I'm going to do a little bit of logic here, is that I know his last role was The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, directed by Terry Gilliam.
Okay.
So that film was finished when it was Colin Farrell, Johnny Depp, and someone else. I forget who it was. Let's just say Armie Hammer. They stepped in It probably wasn't Army Hammer,
Yeah, but
they stepped in and then finished it because it kind of worked. But I think that film came out in 2009, so I'm guessing it was 2008.
Boom. 2008.
Yes!
2008. You nailed it. Wow. That's actually you put together pieces for that one.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a
I mean,
off
I
the
knew it
dome.
was sometime between 2006 and like 2010 just from like vaguely remembering it, but
Right,
that was
yeah.
I had to go through the process
Well, you got it right. So that's really sets the tone for the
for the episode.
podcast, I guess. Gonna get a lot of things right today. Yeah, I was gonna ask about your New Year's because that happened since the last time.
Okay. So
we recorded.
my brother and sister are home. They both actually quarantined for 2 weeks, like together before then entering the house that I have been in with my parents.
Right.
So currently we're all here. They're leaving like in a few days. But when they were together quarantining, they got into the habit of watching The Price is Right every day. I'm going somewhere with the story. It's gonna be
Okay,
like
I was like, that's a very rare.
that was not the punchline.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that has transitioned into our house, and we've watched a ton of The Price is Right. Now they just let that set the stage.
Okay.
Now, this is just out there is something else that has happened in the world. Is that in like the Tampa Bay area, there was this guy that somehow late at night with my mom 8-10 years ago, we stumbled upon was at like midnight or 1 a.m. on a paid programming channel. There was this guy who made his own late night show because he wanted to be a late night host. So he made his own late night show that he paid to have aired on a channel. And his name was Motown Maurice. And I always, like, my mom and I always remember this because we were like, what is happening? And it was like, it was very, like, badly produced, but it was kind of endearing because this guy just, like, really, you could tell, wanted to be a late night host. And he actually was, like, fairly charismatic. So I was, like, kind of into it. And he did this thing whenever, like, after his monologue, where he was, like, pointed at his, because he had a house band. And he would be like, take it to the, or they'd be like, help me take it to the bridge or something. And then he took it to the bridge, and what that was he did this dance where he would just like shuffle his legs back and forth and kind of like spin around a bit.
Right.
So I was like, Motown's taking it to the bridge. Okay. So this was like 10 years ago. It was just like something that happened, right?
Yeah.
My family is sitting on the couch together. We're watching Wheel of Fortune. And the announcer, he says, Motown Maurice, come on down. And then Motown Maurice is on The Price is Right. Motown Maurice just comes out, and we're just like, what is happening? It's this random guy who had his own show he paid for in the local Tampa Bay programming. And he's on The Price is Right.
Price is Right now. Did he
on The
take it
Price
to the
is Right.
bridge?
So here's the thing. Then he has to, bid. He's at the podium, and he has to bid.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, so they like have a product, and then he bids.
Yeah.
And he wins, so he goes up, and then he jumps out, and he starts taking it to the bridge. After he, like, this little dance after he gets the bid, right? He starts, I'm like, what? He's taking it to the bridge? Okay, and then, here's the thing. It's not over, because now he's playing, a prize game.
Right.
With Drew Carey. And he's just like, and his name is Motown Maurice in the show. I thought that was, like, a nickname, and he would be called Maurice. But on his name tag, it says Motown. Okay, and now Drew Carey, like, has a game for him. And he plays the game, and he wins a car.
Dude.
So
good for Motown.
And the whole time, there's just like 10 minutes where my family's just all staring at each other like, are we being pranked?
Yeah.
Like, how is this real?
It's a very specific thing.
Because that was always like a very specific inside joke I had with my mom.
Yeah.
Motown Maurice, who we just saw on TV.
I'm looking him up now.
It was the most baffling thing I think that's ever happened to me.
He looks so happy. Seems like a really positive dude. He was in the 2018 film Snake Outta Compton. So that's cool. All of his movies seem like they're like reptile related. There's Dragon Soldiers and Alien Expedition. Anyways, yeah. Those aren't reptiles for the record, but yeah. Anyways,
I mean, close enough. Yeah,
close enough. They're in the scales. I don't know.
But yeah, so I think that was the most exciting thing that happened.
That was your New Year's
since we did the last episode.
Damn. Well, that's cool. Is that what you did for New Year's, or did you guys just?
So
sat?
that was probably like a couple days before New Year's.
Okay,
maybe.
never mind.
But
never mind.
we just kind of hung out.
That's nice. That's a
like we weren't doing anything.
Right. Yeah.
So
nothing better to.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. I went to Tennessee, so there was that. This was I was gonna tell you. You asked about this earlier. I'm gonna answer on the pod now. The South. This was my first time in the South, the deep South.
Oh, I forgot. We totally because I vaguely asked you about this before the podcast. I'm like, I'll ask you again. You gave like a more full answer.
I was like, all right, I'll just jump into
and you were
this.
like waiting for me, and I'm like, yeah, keep talking. I'm like, I was supposed to prompt that answer. So
I was like, I'll bounce into this one myself. I was like, all right, I'll take the
So you went to Tennessee, right?
I did go to Tennessee.
How was that?
So I went to the South. This is my first time in the South. Okay. And I just want to say, it's like there was a quick cutoff after we drove past. Is it Louisville or Lowville? I've heard both.
So I think the people there say it the second way, but like to everyone else in the world, it's Louisville.
Okay. Because I have a friend from there, and she always says Louisville. But anyways,
yeah.
As soon as we got past Louisville, it like got so southern. And I mean, like, I didn't know. Like, we stopped at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, kind of on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee, and there were like 5 pickup trucks, and every guy in those trucks had like the mullet and the American flag like tank top and like dirty beards, and like I was just like, whoa, this is literally the South.
Yeah, so you definitely took the road, like the way I always drive from Chicago to Florida, because I go straight through Louisville. Like I take the highway down, and I go literally through Louisville just because I avoid tolls. So Louisville has like a ring road. I don't know why I said ring road. That's a phrase from like England, I think.
A roundabout.
But it's like a highway that's like a toll highway that goes around the city. Or if you're cheap and don't want to do that, like I am. You drive straight through downtown and then like go up a different road to get back on the highway.
Okay, because I did, and this is boring highway talk for the podcast, but I did do the toll one, but we didn't hit any tolls. We just did a curve, and I never had to pay anything. So
has my GPS been lying to me?
Maybe, or either that, or I'm gonna get
straight through downtown Louisville.
Yeah, I just remembered I have to pay my tolls from last week. Anyways,
yeah. I'd go right next to the Yum Center.
Dude, the Yum Center. Yeah, we drove by the Yum Center. Yeah, and I was like, dude, get a load of the Yum Center. Anyways, okay.
It's where the Louisville basketball team plays their games.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know that. I just assumed.
Yeah, they're good team.
Good. Okay, but the thing I didn't realize was that they like literally nobody down there wears masks.
Yes.
And this is not eye-opening.
No one in Florida does either.
Dude, this isn't eye-opening to anyone else besides me. I really didn't know it was that bad. But like I had to go pick up batteries one night, and the only place open was a Walmart. This was New Year's Eve, and it was a packed Walmart. Nobody was wearing a mask. It was like a horror movie. I was like, holy shit, this is the worst situation I've ever been in. But yeah, anyways, my New Year's was good. We stayed at like an Airbnb cabin in the woods. Yeah.
That's cool.
Visited my...
Okay, when you told me initially you were doing that, I thought you were like camping in a tent.
No, we were in an Airbnb.
So that's probably nicer.
Yeah, I would be too scared in a tent. I get scared of bears, so I didn't want to. Yeah.
You get scared of bears?
Yeah, I'm not a bear guy. But
I don't think anyone's a bear guy. I think it's just most people don't think they're going to get attacked by one. Wait, so were you outside of Knoxville, or which part of Tennessee did you end up staying?
Yeah.
Okay, it was Knoxville, yeah.
It was like Cyverville or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I mean, Knoxville seemed cool and pretty. The like land, like the woods and everything, it was beautiful. Like it's a beautiful place down there. But I was just like, I could never live here with the community that they got going on. But
right,
yeah, it was nice.
What was your favorite thing? Because we didn't do one after Christmas. So I'm gonna go like, what was your favorite Christmas gift that you received?
I got this new keyboard that is sitting right here.
Is it like a mechanical keyboard?
Yeah, well, it's just like a Logitech situation, and I
It looks
really
nice.
like it. It feels really good on my fingers. Yeah, I've been geeking out over it, to be honest.
Okay, what is a mechanical keyboard?
I don't know. I don't know
Okay,
what
I don't
to.
either.
I didn't know what to
And
say when you
everyone
asked
always
that.
talks about like mechanical keyboards. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. What's the best thing you got?
I got like a few cool things. I
What if you got a Karstcast hat? That'd be really
yeah. I got a Karstcast. So I have.
I was
I
like,
have
that's
an
where that
extra
Florida
couple.
order went. Interesting. Yeah.
I paid for them. Like, but I got this, which this is I actually haven't used them yet, so I have to test them tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah.
But this is one. It's a Rode Go mic.
Oh, so it's like an
So
on-the-go mic?
It's I mean, I guess that's probably what they were going for with the branding, but it's a lavalier
not.
mic. So one's
Okay.
like a receiver and one is like a transmitter. So this it can use as a lav mic, or you can plug like an actual lav mic into it and then run it up. But it's just like a wireless mic system.
Okay. Nice.
So
That's
theoretically,
cool.
you know what? I could do? I could try to use this for the podcast. Just like
Yeah. If it's
just
better
clip
than
it
the
on.
travel mic, yeah, then you could
Yeah.
just use your hand. Well, I guess you
well,
can already use
the
your
thing
hands.
is that I've been buying a few new like camera things
Uh-huh.
for next time I travel, and I realized that I'm probably going to need to find a way to use one of my other microphones that I'm bringing instead of this, because I don't think I'll have the bag space for this guy.
for even a
Even though it's
travel
very
mic.
small,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
I'm getting real low on bag space with how much stuff I'm trying to bring.
damn. Yeah.
But I'm going to be having like two other mics with me, so I'm sure one of them will work.
Right.
So I also got a different thing. Wait, it's not there. It's over here. This thing. It's a little
Ooh,
on.
a little gerbil.
It's not a gerbil. So it's like a little shotgun, but it's like two-sided, so it has two microphones.
Yeah.
I won't get into like why I did that, like got this, but it's for like on-camera stuff, and then I
Nice.
might be able to use this as my new podcast mic
Damn. That's cool.
for travel. All right. Anyways, that was fun. That was
Anyway,
like a
that
fun
was
little
cool.
segment.
A little catch up on the holidays and whatnot.
You know, we had
Well, hey.
we had 2 weeks worth of
We had to catch
stuff
up.
to cover.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into today's movie. Today we're talking about Soul, which is a new movie directed by Pete Docter, coming out of
Pete Docter.
Pete Docter.
That's a funny name. I'm sorry, Pete.
He, like, his parents wanted him to be something else, and he ended up. It is a 2020 movie from Pixar, and the synopsis reads: Joe is a middle school band teacher whose life hasn't quite gone the way he expected. Similar to Pete Docter, his true passion is jazz, and he's good. Is that really the synopsis? His true passion is jazz, ... and he's good. But when he travels to another realm to help someone find their passion, he soon discovers what it means to have soul.
Imagine writing that as like a log line and then submitting that as like, this is my idea for the film.
That was I don't read these synopses before I copy and paste them. That's a really funny one because that is like super vague in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to the point. There's
Yeah.
jazz and he's,
And he's good.
He is good. He's pretty good at jazz.
This would be a way different movie. It's like his real passion is jazz. ... And he sucks.
Or it's like, and he's fine. He's okay.
Yeah, he is dead average.
He's definitely a middle school band teacher.
Yeah, he should be teaching middle schoolers. He is not any better than that.
So Jeff, we've talked about Pixar before with Toy Story 4, but I don't think we really like got into Pixar when we talked about it.
I don't think we have done like a deep dive in Pixar.
No, and I don't
into Pixar. I don't know. I just said a deep dive in Pixar.
And we're not gonna do that today.
We're not. It sounded like we were about to with how we talked about it a second ago.
We haven't done that.
I was like, my head was trying. I'm like, I was not prepared for this.
Yeah, no. But I do want to know, like what your relationship with Pixar is, like.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is a Pixar ass movie, and I just
really
wanted to
is.
get your take.
I have always liked Pixar a lot. I mean, Pixar is of all the the CGI, films, like Pixar is way better than DreamWorks. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
They are the top tier.
Yeah,
they are like
DreamWorks has what Shrek, and then.
Well, let's not start shitting. No, they have Madagascar. They have
Madagascar, but
Over the Hedge.
I think that they go for like the quotable like meme movies. DreamWorks is how I always felt.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movies are very smart still, but I don't think that the messages are at the forefront of their minds when they make DreamWorks films.
Totally. Well,
and I think Pixar films are a lot deeper.
DreamWorks is making like amazing animated films, like just really like using the medium to its fullest, like doing a lot of fun things. And Pixar is like trying to change the game, like with every movie they do. Like each one is so different, and I mean, besides the sequels, obviously.
Each one is so different. Toy Story 2 completely different than Toy Story 1.
And they really went outside the bubble with Toy Story 4. Their fourth Toy Story movie.
I didn't think Woody was gonna explode. They changed it for me there.
Yeah.
Buzz kills Woody.
Right.
It's weird people didn't bring that up at the time.
Nobody talks about that part of Toy Story 4, but Buzz did kill, and
he used that arm. He used his blaster and just blew up his head.
Mm-hmm. And so, what is your favorite Pixar movie?
Okay, so I am the age where I grew up as like an OG Pixar child.
Yeah.
So I brought this up when we talked about Toy Story like a year and a half ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But I effectively like was about Andy's age when they would make all of the Toy Story movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
you like
so I like
were
felt
Andy.
that because I like was the exact same age as Andy in all of the films.
Yeah.
So that was I feel like that definitely made me fairly connected.
For sure.
And also they were great and like groundbreaking at the time because before that I was just into like Disney films, like all the Disney TV films.
For sure. So does this one? Well, I guess we'll start talking about the new movie.
I'm trying to see. Okay, so because recently I've been slacking on my Pixar. I still haven't seen Coco or Inside Out, and I know Coco is like very high on everyone's list, and Inside Out.
People love Coco. People love Inside Out, and this is like kind of a lot of people are like comparing this to Inside Out because it's super conceptual
because it has the little people.
Yeah, the blobs. Yeah, it gets weird with it, and it's also directed by Pete Docter. And I'm like one of the only people. I know this is like this will be short because you haven't seen Inside Out, so you can't really say anything on this. But I think this one's better than Inside Out. I know I'm alone there for a lot of people, but I think the story works for me a lot more than that one did, and I'm just excited to talk about it.
I'm just gonna finish off just trying to go through all the ones I've seen and not seen real quick. I think I've pretty much seen all of the main ones up until like 2012. So I never saw Brave, and I didn't see Onward.
Yeah, not a lot of people did.
Well, I guess yeah. But yeah, I saw like all the other, like I grew up with like Monsters Inc.
Yeah, those are the classics.
Yeah. Like the end of my I feel like the end of my childhood was like WALL-E was like the last one where I still was like, because I think that came out when I was like 16 or 17.
Right. Yeah. So what did you think about this one?
Yeah, dude, this one was so good.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I say really like I didn't see it.
I
really? Should I check it out?
I think at first I was like trying to figure out where it was going to go just because the pacing didn't fit the type of film I thought it was going to be after the setup.
Totally.
So
that's
so like the pacing, like everything just happened like earlier than I thought it would because I didn't until the end understand what this film was like actually about.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up because the pacing is weird. And it's one of like the many things about this that I think is like so different and new because it doesn't follow like a traditional structure or work like a typical like family film. I don't think this is that much of a family film. The more I watched it, I was like, this, I don't know how many kids are gonna obsess over this one.
No, this felt like a film for Gen Z and millennials.
For sure, yeah.
And especially just the broader message, because I think, and I don't, okay, so yeah, it's hard to figure out where the line is to talk. Every week we do this thing, like, what's a spoiler, what's not a spoiler?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that one of the messages of this film is, like, finding your purpose and, like, what that really means and how important is that to like, love, you know, what your, like, job is, I guess. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that is something that Gen Z and millennials struggle a lot with.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And that's the thing. It's like, it is definitely a movie for Gen Z and millennials and just, yeah. But I think at the same time, I do see why it works for, or why it was made for kids, not necessarily that it works for them, is that that's like an idea or thing that isn't necessarily taught to children as much. Mm-hmm. Is like, because I think it's planted on like early on, like just like what your thing is, like what you want to be when you grow up.
And
there's
that's
like
a question you're
police
asked
and like
constantly.
Firefighter, yeah. It's like, I feel like there's always just like all these paths that you have to choose. You don't have to choose them early on, but like they drill that in your brain. And this is like making that case for that not being a thing that you need to feel fulfilled in the long term. And it's not like that's going to hit hard for a lot of kids. They don't have the emotional maturity to be like, okay. But
yeah, I think it's still entertaining for kids.
Totally, yeah.
But no, but it doesn't necessarily. Yeah, I mean, this. I still think I think we're in agreement with. I don't know. I was about to say something, and I realized that you just said it, and I was gonna be like, I agree. Like, it's a film for Gen Z and millennials, but it's kind of packaged as a kids film, and that kind of works for kids, but it's not. They're not really understanding everything. That's like not all encompassing for what a kid's gonna understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, for sure. I'd want to make one quick thing before we like move past that structure thing we brought up earlier. And I brought this up in my Letterboxd review and I think in my ranked video. But like, I think something I like so much about this and why it's like the first Pixar movie in a long time that I really love is that it was nothing like I expected it to be. Because I think Pixar has gotten very predictable and they knew that. Where it's like everyone knew, like going into a Pixar film, it's like, yeah, they're going to do something that's going to try to make you cry or like answer these big questions in a kid's movie and have all these like very creative characters. And the thing is, it's like this has all of that. Like it is definitely a Pixar movie, but at the same time, I don't think it reads that way. Like I never know where it's going. And for them to do that like this late into it and still prove themselves to be like super creative, and a lot of that is because of Pete Docter specifically. Like he's such a great screenwriter.
I think we both agree that good choice not being that doctor your parents wanted you to be.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, right? But still doing a lot of good. But yeah, I just think it was a very original movie. It both in the way it told what it had to do, because it literally starts in what feels like that weird third act that movies usually go into with like these high concept, weird visual things. And that's like where the thing starts. Yeah. And I'm like, what's going to happen next? And then it goes back to reality and just plays going back and forth. And it does that really well, in my opinion. And, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that it did a good job of setting up a lot of the components that it had all these callbacks to without a way where it just was not as predictable as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, totally.
Because it did all these things where he's like, you start where he's like in the zone, like doing like musical, and it's like the way it's animated, you could tell that was important, but it wasn't important in the exact way that you anticipated. And again, I think this film was way more unpredictable than I thought.
Yeah, totally. Also, it's like halfway through, or not even halfway, like as soon as it gets to the second act, I would say there's the cat incident. Mm-hmm. I guess I won't go any further for spoiler sake, but you look at that and you're like, oh, that's the movie. This is the adventure portion. Yeah. But then it's like over, and there's still like a whole 30 minutes left, and yeah, that's another example of the movie just doing something kind of it still works, and I'm glad that part is in there. But
the cat incident.
Yeah, the cat incident.
That actually sounds like a band. If I was still wearing the black like hoodie, if we were both wearing it, that sounds like a band name that we would have been in.
like some post-punk thing. Yeah. The cat incident.
Yeah, you kind of have like some post-punk hair right now.
Dude, I was gonna bring it up. Oh god.
It's kind of like it's kind of like, you know, the Strokes, like early 2000s.
Yeah. Well, depending
like
on how I
super dried out hair look, you know what I mean? Not in a bad way. I just mean like it feels like you're just like curling iron the crap out of your hair.
Yeah. Well, I've been wearing a beanie a lot recently, and after doing that, it's like then it gets kind of, I don't know. I'm gonna get a haircut soon, though. I've decided.
Actually, the thing though is that still not a bad move because you pull off beanies.
Thank you. Thanks.
I know you know that because you have a lot of photos of you in a beanie.
Yeah. They're comfortable.
Like, I don't have a good head for beanies.
You don't. I'm not gonna lie.
look like garbage. But the good thing is I can pull off like baseball caps.
You do. And I can't pull off baseball caps that well. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah, but the thing is you have beanies.
Trade off.
Yeah, and I look like garbage. I just look, I don't know, I look like an idiot in beanies. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like you would see me and people would be like, I don't want to be friends with that guy. Something about him. His head's too smooth.
They're like, I can't tell if this guy is 12 or 42. Sorry, that was mean.
Okay, I want to say though, this sweater that I'm wearing, how would you describe this just for the audio audience?
It's a great blend of old school but modern. It's kind of Christmassy. It's got like orange and red and green. I don't know why I started with orange.
This at Village Discount Outlet.
The one in Roscoe?
So it wasn't the one in Roscoe. It was the one in like it's like Logan-ish.
Yeah.
So I got it right before. This was maybe in like the first week of March or second week of March. It was like before everything locked down. Yeah, I got it for $8.
Dude,
here's the thing.
Such a steal.
But I looked the brand up, and it is made with Shetland Island wool. It's a wool like thing, and you know what the retail price of like all of their new, and this was effectively new, like it looked like it was never worn. Yeah. You know what the retail price of their new sweaters are?
What?
200 euros.
Dude.
So I got like a $230 sweater for $8.
That's so clutch. Is that probably, would you say that's your best thrift?
Yes, that was my best thrift. I also had this sweater I wore all the time. I got for $1.50 one time, but
yeah,
which is pretty good. But this one's like, I mean, it is wool though, so like it's a little bit itchy, but you know, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Take what you can get.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks like a really nice sweater.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, well, I'm in front of green, so it kind of is it's a bit green looking, everything.
No, but like you pull it off, it looks fine. You know?
I mean, really, I don't know why no one's ever green screened.
Yeah.
The area behind me.
You know what I just realized? It's like we both have green backgrounds. I mean, mine doesn't look green, but I do have green walls. It's not as green as yours, but it's just an observation I just made.
Yeah. So anyway, Soul.
I want to talk about the music, which I didn't realize Trent Reznor did it until the credits. I was like, there's the one scene of him going back to Earth, and that's not that much of a spoiler because that happens a few different times. And
isn't that more of a spoiler that you just talk about how many times it does happen?
No, because it happens a lot in one scene. There's like this arpeggio. Okay, I'm like, I get the name wrong every time, but it's like an arpeggio and piano thing going on, and I'm like, that sounds really pretty, and it reminds me of The Social Network. And then his name popped up in the credits, and I was like, no shit. It is a gorgeous score.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire movie. And
it's interesting because it's not really that interesting, but I'm gonna say it anyways. How there's a lot of music in the film, but the style of music that the score is like completely different.
Totally. Yeah.
Like it doesn't even sound influenced by it.
No.
But it works.
It works. That is so true. And I don't know how, to be honest. Also, I think someone told me this, but Jean Baptiste from, what is it, Stephen Colbert or whatever?
Yeah.
He did the piano sections for all the jazz, which that sounded amazing. That is an animated thing about this that I was just like geeking out about. It's like the fact that they got his fingers to like just play all the piano. I'm just like, that must have taken so much work, to be honest.
Yeah, unless they
Probably
cheated and just didn't do the right notes. I'm sure they did.
I'm sure that's the thing.
I'm
sure
not
they
smart
did.
enough, like, musically when it's that fast to tell. That'd be funny if it's just completely wrong.
Someone makes a video of him actually pressing the notes he pressed, and it's just... yeah. Anyways, wanted to bring that up. I guess we will... It's hard to talk about anything else without talking about spoilers.
Yeah.
If you want to skip spoilers, go to the 49-minute, 56-second mark. I'll give you a second. Pause the... Okay, thanks. And I guess the main spoiler I would talk about, the one thing like worth really talking about, is like the message of this film.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking we would...
Because
we would venture.
I think a lot of people's main critique is that they don't know what it's trying to say.
Wait, that's someone's critique?
Well, kind of. They're just that.
It feels pretty obvious.
It's obvious, but at the same time, it's just like they don't know what the film's stance on the subject is. Like they know what it's saying, but not what its opinion is, I guess. But I don't really get that because I think it's pretty straightforward throughout. Because it's like what it gets to at the end is that your passion isn't your purpose and just existing is. And that's kind of how the movie ends.
I mean, so when you
outside.
mention spoiler, we're in the spoiler section now.
We're in the spoiler section, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. And it's still obviously saying that having a passion is great. But Joe was living in this film with that as his only purpose, and all of the smaller things that would happen he was viewing as a failure. And I mean, they do a lot of pretty blatant exposition-y stuff, whereas like him within the barber shop, where the barber was talking about how Joe had never talked about anything other than music to this guy.
Yeah
And it was just showing Joe as this very one-dimensional person who thought that the only thing that mattered was music, which was his purpose, rather than what the film was saying, and what you just talked about, how it's just like the smaller moments of things that make you human. Just like enjoying how something tastes, or like seeing something like in a like nice light or something was also equally as important.
Yeah. That's why I think, okay, I'm glad you brought up the barbershop thing, because that kind of felt like a starting point of something that there I promise it's related. There's this Radiohead video for Daydreaming. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. It's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and there's a great video essay on it, and it's basically just this very like abstract experimental take on how Tom York, like everything, his whole career was like also happening around the same time as his marriage, and like his entire relationship with Radiohead is like his relationship with his ex-wife, and it's just how he can't like detach that from her. And the reason I bring that up is it kind of reminds me of this, in that it's like he can't really like I think a lot of this movie is kind of a crisis for him in that he's realizing like so much of his life and his identity is based around this one thing. Like you said, it's like super one-dimensional. And it's coming to terms with like trying to figure out what else because I think when he has the success at the jazz club and it's like, yeah, it's going well. Like he's doing whatever that thing is supposed to be. It's like, it just feels empty because there was nothing more than that.
I mean,
and I thought that was just...
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Keep going.
I was just going to say, I just think that's a crazy thing to put in a kid's movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, where it is actually kind of revolutionary in that what should have been the climax of like a film from the 80s or 90s, where it's like he did the big thing at the end, hooray, and then like he should be lifted on everyone's shoulders and like and then the film goes to credits. But what actually happens is everyone's like, "Hey, great job," and then and then his mom's like, "I'm proud of you," and then it's just like it goes back to mid, back to the middle, and he's just like, "Okay, well, that was cool, I guess."
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
it is kind of I don't know if I paused on that specific moment necessarily in my brain as like a big idea. That didn't make any sense. These words I'm saying aren't like I'm 50-50 on like the ratio of making sense. But it wasn't like something I paused on as like, oh, this is a big moment to like consider what this film is about. But now that you're talking about it, I'm agreeing.
No, there's a lot that I overlooked the first time. That's why I kind of want to watch it again because I feel like it's a good movie to watch 2 times because I feel like there's a lot that you pick up on the second once you realize like what it's doing. But I thought it was that was the point of the movie.
You actually don't really see Joe happy very much in this film.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
what do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like even when he in that scene when he would be happy, he's only happy for like a brief period of time. And I think that is like an interesting way of portraying actual life, where in movies at the end of films, the protagonist is often posed as being okay. They are now eternally happy, and every bit of conflict in their life is now settled. Where this was a much more realistic interpretation of achieving a goal, where it's fulfilling in the moment, but it's not like life affirming.
Yeah, totally. And the scariest part about that is the fact that like if that was supposed to be the thing that was life affirming and it wasn't, like where do you go from there?
What is?
Yeah.
And that is what the film is about, and that what should be fulfilling is all these much smaller things in conjunction with your professional goals.
Yep.
It's all like one big ecosystem of what your life should be.
Yeah. And that's why
we got there.
We got there. We nailed this discussion, in my opinion. I just think that the ending too, when he steps outside, which again, it's like I don't know why. There was this tweet that was like that last scene undermines everything the movie was telling you, and I'm like, how? It literally is the point. He steps outside and like takes this big breath in and is like finally in the moment and in this situation, as opposed to literally like in his head the way he was the entire movie.
Why do you think that someone would read that as undermining the film?
I don't know. That's the thing.
I think I have an idea.
Okay.
And I think it's because, unlike what we just said, which is, I think pretty much the correct interpretation that we're taking here.
Yeah.
I wanted to sound as cocky as possible. Like, we understand this Pixar film. 94th rated film and TV podcast on Spotify last year.
That's us, baby.
But I think if you were reading this as the little things are what's important, you could see this as undermining the message, because he's going back to his normal life just with a greater appreciation for the little things rather than changing his life. But I think it's not about that. It's about the little things having their place in life.
Yeah.
rather like because you can't have your life just be only little things. You need some kind of drive or motivation of a more pointed goal to you know, like I can't just be like every day I'm gonna go on walks and look at the sky and touch the grass.
Yeah,
Like you could, but that's a bit weird.
it's not. Yeah,
Where you do need this like overarching. I mean, it's how a lot of like you know on USA Network they had this golden era of like all these procedural shows. So they had like Burn Notice and Psych, and the way those shows work is unlike just like straight up cop procedurals where it's like every week there's a crime and they solve it. In that show it's like in Psych every week there's a crime, but there's also about 8 minutes of the show dedicated to a overarching backstory. So it's like there's personal stuff that happens for part of it, and then the rest of it is like the every week different crime thing.
Yeah.
And so bringing that back to this movie, it's you know you need an overarching goal to grow. I think because I don't think growth happens with just the little things. I think that you need the little things to be happy and understand like their place. But I think you still do need like a motivational long-term goal that you're working towards.
Yeah. It's just
but that's
recognizing
not the only thing that's important.
That goal isn't like the goal.
It's not the only thing that's important.
Yeah. There isn't
and that goal can change over time.
Yeah.
It's not a goal that necessarily needs to be accomplished, but you're still working towards something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's if you fail at that, like Joe was failing in this film at being a musician for a long time, it's not a failure of your only purpose in life. It's just a failure of one of the things you're doing while living.
Yeah. Totally.
And it's not necessarily a failure. It's just you didn't, you know, succeed in one thing.
Right.
I feel like I had it for a while, and I like
no, you did have it. That was it. I think that's literally like that's what we have to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. How does this film resonate with you in any specific way that you want to talk about?
You know, it did I think it captured this like anxious. I don't want to use the term panic attack because that is like a literal dangerous thing, but like something along the lines of that, of just like being very in your head about something, which is what happens in like the third act of the film, and then coming out of that. I think the way they just not only like told it, but even like animated it, just those last like 10 minutes of this movie was insanely accurate. And you can really feel the relief of when he steps outside, because there is like something about just kind of coming back to earth after you've been just having these existential crises and freak yourself out about like what you're doing here. And I thought this film, better than like a lot of movies I've seen personally, really nailed that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also, we didn't really even get into just some of the metaphorical stuff in this film, and also just like the ingenious way that they had Joe view his life like through a different person's eyes, where he was like looking in on his life happening.
Yep. Totally.
Where he was a cat.
Well, that's the thing. Just burped in the. That's the thing. It's like we didn't even talk about like Tina Fey's character. I forget 22.
22.
We didn't get into 22. Frankly, I don't think it matters that much in the grand scheme of the movie. I think 22 really acts as just a device for the plot. Although I'm
glad they didn't show 22 after going to Earth as a baby, because that would have been weird.
That would have been weird, yeah. Well, that's
you see like Joe makes eye contact with some baby on like the sidewalk and like smiles. You're like, that's 22.
We didn't get to like the mother stuff. I feel like there's a lot we could say about his relationship with his mother. And there's like something that this renowned like jazz singer says to him, or not singer, I forget what instrument she played, but that she said to him, saxophone I want to say. She had a different thing going on too. There's just a lot to pick apart about this film, but we kind of got to the gist of it.
Yeah.
Which is
I say watch it twice.
Watch it twice, you know. Cool.
Watch it 3 times if you really want to.
Right. I'm just very...
Karstcast official recommendation. That's our new thing. We scale things on how much we think you should watch it. Like, I think you should watch this one 7 times.
I think you should... And then there's the bad ones where we're like, I don't think you should ever watch this. I think you should ignore it.
Yeah. The title of our podcast before it says, do not watch.
Cool.
Have you ever watched anything 7 times?
I'm sure I've watched Fantastic Mr. Fox about more than 7 times, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I make it like a yearly thing at this point, and I've been watching it since I was a kid, so that's definitely surpassed 7.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen... I think Ishtar is probably at about 7.
Okay.
The only 2 films I know I've seen more than 7 would be Dumbo, like the original one, because that was my brother's favorite film when he was really, really young, and I had to watch it all the time, and also Space Jam, because that was my favorite movie.
Right, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's like kids' movies that I've seen probably a lot.
Like The Tangerine Bear?
The Tangerine Bear, yeah, a classic. Okay, Parasite, I'm at 4, so I'm getting up there. I watched it 4 times in less than 1 year, so I'm assuming I'm going to watch it again soon.
That's better than having 4 Parasites.
Right. Hey, I don't have the soundboard. Wait, do I? No, I don't.
Wow.
Okay.
That's like the most disappointed I've been all week. We're like, do I? No.
Yeah. So what are you feeling for a score here?
I feel like I have to watch it one more time.
Okay.
But I'm at the very least, I'm at a 4.5 here.
Same. Yeah, I was feeling
That's where
that.
I think, that's, you know, I'm like, maybe
a
5, but I think 4.5.
Yeah. Same. Cool. Well, that does it for Soul. I'll probably talk about it at some other point down the line. Maybe it'll get a video someday. But it's a great movie, and we both recommend you check it out.
At least once, if not 3 times.
Exactly. Okay, we'll get into our questions then. These come from the subreddit r/Karstcast. It's really turned into a shit show over there, but we still got some questions.
If you want to see Carson's face on a variety of different bodies, it's the Reddit for you. It's the number 1 Reddit for
that. This first one comes from Ranger Fearless 9051. It's just for me, so I'll make it quick. But I guess it also is, you know what? It also applies to you. It is, what were your experiences as a film YouTuber when you were at around 150 subs? So you've since surpassed that number. So technically...
yeah. Well, here's the thing. At that phase, I was just making thank you videos. So, you know, that got me way above that. So
right.
Maybe just thank people for subscribing. People seem to respond to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to say Carson probably has a little bit better advice.
Yeah. Well, this isn't really a question I can answer because... So before I made like video essays or film related content, I made like fan made music videos for these songs I really liked for this band that was like just popular enough to where people would watch those videos, but just unpopular enough to where nobody else was making fan made music videos for them. So it's like when people looked up their music, they'd see my fan made music video as like the top result, and I got a lot of views that way. And you know, that's not enough to build the channel, but I naturally got like 1,000 or so subs off of that, which was cool.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty good, yeah, because it's like I made 3 of them for one band, so people just honestly assumed I was affiliated with them. I was not, but they subscribed anyways. So I came into video essays with 1,000 subs already, but when I started making those and like just made the switch, I don't even really remember, to be honest. It was just like a few people that were like, hey, really enjoy this video, and kept making them. Yeah. It was like, as far as like what it was like, it was just kind of a fun hobby at the time.
Yeah, I think that's probably how you have to treat it, as like, if you want to genuinely make a go of it, you probably, and I haven't not done this yet, but you probably have to make like 1 video a week. Yeah, right? Because that's what I've heard the YouTube algorithm wants. It's consistent.
especially like as you start like growing it.
Yeah.
Like then you should probably start like uploading regularly, which I don't even do now, to be honest. But what was I about to say? Oh yeah, I do remember just having like a lot of fun with it and being very excited, which I think I cannot emphasize enough is just essential if you want to make videos, because I know a lot of people just do it to see what would hit and what would get views, and it's like I was doing it because like during class I would just like be writing all these notes and start writing the essay for it because I was so excited to go home and make it. It's like I wasn't.
See, that's where you have to be.
Right. I was having and I still do. I have so much fun doing it, which is why I do it. I don't do it because it's like, this seems like a cool thing, or it seems like
it's
profitable thing. It is a cool thing, yeah.
It's kind of profitable.
Yeah, it's kind of profitable too, yeah. But it's,
but that wasn't the primary reason.
That's not the reason, no. But yeah, I hope that answered that.
Yeah. So just make videos that you have fun making.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like
that's the advice.
Yeah. It's like a snowball effect. Also, it's interesting because, like, at that stage, when you don't have a lot of subs, people in the comments talk to you directly. They refer to you as, like, you. And so it always feels like you're interacting with people. Whereas I feel like there's a certain, like, point that you cross where people start talking to you in the third person. And that's when it starts feeling like you have an audience as opposed to people watching your videos. And that's when it starts to feel like a professional thing for some reason. I don't know. That wasn't worth bringing up. It was just a thing I noticed.
Yeah, I'm still at the phase where people are talking to me directly.
Yeah,
and say,
and
hey Jeff, good job.
I mean, people still do that, but yeah, it's anyways. This next one comes from Shin Janitor, and it is, what are your favorite Pokemon?
Okay, so
I've always wanted to get asked this question.
Yeah, so again, I'm like the age of the original Pokemon. You know, I was in second grade trading Pokemon cards. My favorite of the original Pokemon was always Blastoise.
Right. Blastoise is a good one. I used to have a shirt with Blastoise on it. And you seem like a Blastoise guy.
Yeah. I mean, I also thought Ditto was cool.
Ditto's cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I found my whole collection of Pokemon cards. Like,
is it big? Do you have a big one?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I can go get it. It's like 20 feet away.
Go for it. Yeah. While Jeff is doing that, my favorite is Magmar. He is the lava guy. Very underrated Pokemon. He has like a giant ridge, which is why I think I empathize with him, because I kind of look like him in a way. But he's really cool. And he doesn't have any evolution, or not in Gen 1, but I always really liked him. I'll put a picture of him up there. Jesus Christ, that's a giant binder.
Oh, you don't even know.
I mean, I had a lot, but oh my god, that changes the game.
Let's see. I'm gonna find a good.
Did you organize it?
Dude, I mean, yeah, when I was like 10.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Oh wait.
I can hear the sticky pages and.
Oh yeah.
You want
I got some.
Hold it up for anybody?
This?
Yeah.
I had to wait and find a page here.
So for the listeners at home,
I'm just saying, that's a Charizard, baby.
Wow.
that's a first edition. Nido Queen up there. There's a holographic Blaster. There's a Japanese holographic Mew.
Why did that just make me want to get back into Pokemon, to be honest?
Dude, I don't know if you've noticed this on YouTube, but in the last like 6 months, Pokemon has gotten massive again.
The card collecting aspect, or just
yes. That Charizard I just showed you, depending on the condition of it, is worth up to like $1,000.
Dude,
this specific one is probably worth like 100 to 200.
Right.
Which is still nuts, because you know how I got this?
How?
I traded a Game Boy game to my neighbor when I was like 11.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, and that Game Boy game now is probably worth like 50 cents.
Yeah.
So who made out on that trade?
I kind of want to get back into Pokemon.
Dude,
That's really cool.
You could be okay if you want to grow your channel a ton. Do some Pokemon card pack openings.
I will be starting a separate channel for that, but yeah,
Dude, look at all these. There's a holographic Ditto. There's But this is a different Charizard. This is the e-reader Charizard right here.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, I guess that answers the question. I guess we'll talk about Pokemon more often. This last one comes from Stop Motion Samurai. It's for the both of us, and it is, what is your favorite thing you've ever made? I'm trying to think.
That's a good question.
I'll be honest. I think my Synecdoche, New York video. I was really proud of that one, and it felt like a big project that I made, and will always look back on and be happy about. So,
also, like, it's good when it's something you made a long time ago, and you watch it again, you still think you sound smart.
Okay, yeah, because there's a lot of videos,
and I'm like, damn, Carson's smart.
There's nothing smart about that video. I think it's just a personal one. But I guess I do make some connections, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's harder than just doing like academic where you have actual things to point to and like say this because this, and you can, since it's a video where it's not like a podcast where it's live and we're just going to sound like idiots because it's hard to come up with, intelligent things with like factual information to back them up on the spot. Mm-hmm. But with like videos, it's easy, I think, for a lot of people to sound reasonably smart just because you have all the time in the world and you're releasing a very polished, or it should be polished, thing where you can like point them and you can convince people, because that's what you're doing, with like video essays.
Yeah.
Is convincing people you're right.
That's exactly.
But a personal one, I think, is harder to come across as smart because you're having to make both logical and emotional like connections within the same video.
That's a great
because you have to say point. I feel this way because of
this, and yeah. You know what? I take it back. Cool. Thanks, Jeff. That is a smart video. Appreciate it. What about you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing?
We should also answer what our favorite thing each other have made is.
Yeah. I will be. Well, let me think.
Okay, I'll just say my favorite thing I've made first.
Okay.
Okay, so I've made a few things that I think are good. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Cube Jeff thing just turned out really well because I did it in one day and I just like green screened myself into the Nissan Cube music video, or I mean, myself and a Cube into the Baby Driver music video or trailer.
Yeah. Trailer video.
There we go. Blah. Yeah, I think I'm Just a Mantis is kind of funny.
Totally.
Like, yeah. There was this phase for like a year or two when I was into like really conceptual projects where it was more like the fact that the project existed rather than like the project itself being good.
Yeah.
Where I just thought it was funny to pretend to be a folk artist and have a song on Spotify about a mantis. Like, just the idea of that was funny to me.
Yeah.
And that was like in the same thing as like the Baby Driver Cube thing.
Right.
Where I just thought that was like a funny idea because that was when I made a Twitter account pretending to love Nissan Cube. So it's just like a weird conceptual thing. I also have a couple of those projects I never released that I actually do have time to finish now, so I really should.
Yeah.
Where I did a bunch of Squirt ads with Dan White as the Squirt astronaut. It's so I'm gonna have to work on those.
Yeah.
I still have them somewhere. I also did this really dumb video called Song of the Summer, where I made like a vlog, and then I had like where I was talking like this video. Honestly, the comedy part of it kind of sucked. But the song turned out to be really catchy.
I recognize that from somewhere. I think I've seen it or something, but I don't remember where I saw it because I don't think it's available.
It's on like my personal website that like 2 people have gone to.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty dumb video, but the song at the end is like probably in terms of like pop type songs, it's definitely the best song I've ever made in terms of just how catchy it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so that, and I might have. Oh yeah, also the web series I did with Dan White.
Yep.
paid research study.
Paid research
which you
study.
can go to whifflerresearchgroup.com.
Hell yeah. It's a great web series. I've seen every episode. Yeah. I will have to jump on the...
So you're the guy.
I'm the guy. I'm gonna jump on the Mantis thing because that is a song that I have it in my summer playlist because I added it because I thought it'd be funny, and I've listened to it many times. I think it's like a genuinely good song, and
yeah,
it's also hilarious. So it's gonna be my thing.
Okay, first of all, objectively, Long Toast is really good. Like the animation style is like very appealing.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
But I also really like the ostrich song.
Really?
I know you like. Okay, I know. I think didn't you like scrub it from like the internet?
I didn't scrub it. I don't pretend like it doesn't exist. I just privatized it because I thought it would be. I was like, it did its run, and I could just make it public again if I want to. I think I
know
might.
What you could do
because I do love the song. I think it's a good song.
It's a really good song. It's better than the Mantis song.
It's not. It's
here's what you should do is like have every year do an ostrich week, and you only make it available for that week.
Oh my god. Well, the thing is, it's like yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, I might do that. I know someone will so quickly like once they catch on to that, they'll just download it and re-upload it for people to see. But I'm gonna do.
But
that
like,
anyways.
it's only available from you.
You only get the channel one, the official origin. I'm gonna do that. Ostrich Week won't be happening until next October, I think, is when I put it out. So, yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so funny. Anyways, yeah.
And then there's you can make some other video, like a real video on your channel that's like has a movie that has an ostrich in it.
Yeah. I'm going to just sneak the ostrich song in the credits of one of my videos and see if anyone catches it. Yep. Cool. Well, I think that does it for questions.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess we'll get into the wrap-up. This has been a long video, or long episode. But as far as wrap-up goes, next week we are going to be doing another double feature. This one will be a narrative and a documentary, and it will be A Serious Man, the Coen Brothers movie, and the documentary from this last year called Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets. And we'll have a special guest on. I don't know if Jeff wants to talk about that, but
it's my friend Kevin.
Yep.
He's not anyone any of you will know, but I know him.
He knows, yeah. And I'm excited. It'll be a fun episode, I think.
Yeah, he's fun.
Cool. Next, we'd like to read a review. This one comes from the USA from Jack F98. The subject line is super great with 2 heart faces, 5 stars, and it reads, I mainly walk my dog when I listen to you guys. Keep up the great work. That's it.
That's I mean, honestly, I like it.
And
nice
sweet,
review.
Yeah.
I do have one question about this review.
Okay.
Does that mean that you listen to a part of it every day during the walk until you finish it, or are you walking your dog for like an hour and 10 minutes?
Yeah, because it's a long podcast, and we don't. I'm assuming you don't listen to the whole thing while walking the dog.
Yeah, so. I mean, I could definitely see you like doing it in 15-minute increments,
right?
And like finishing it in like 4 or 5 walks.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of funny if like you don't let the dog get back home until you finish the podcast. You're like, no, we are still walking for 40 more minutes. I do not care that you're done.
They're just now getting to the movie, and we've been walking for 20 minutes.
All right, well, okay, wait. They're not talking about the movie anymore. They've gone off on a tangent.
They're talking about Jeff's sweater now.
They just realized both of their backgrounds are green.
It's the Charting Movie Podcast. Anyways, thank you, Jack F. And lastly, we'd like to thank the patrons.
Can't spell charting without heart.
Heart.
I mean, there's no E in that, but it still spells heart.
Right, you need those 4 letters.
Yeah, I mean, it still spells heart. It's just not the kind you're thinking of.
Not the one that you're thinking of.
It's Kevin Hart.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Karstcast. If you want to help support the podcast, this is the best way to do so. Over there you can get exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, Zoom Hangouts, which we just did. It was a lot of fun. And,
yeah, I mean, I will say that everyone who was a patron in like last month, that was the money I used to buy my family Christmas gifts.
There we go. So... Look at that. That's awesome. Well, without any further ado, here's that shout out at the end of every episode we talk about. And there it is. Thank you. Addison Ware, Allison Grace, Annabelle Falk, Ben Chow, Bex, Blake Root, Boat, Brandon Yu, Brock Schultz, Camilla, Eden, Fozzie Bear, Grant Gow, Hannah E., Harry Remedianakis, Help, how do I change my profile name? I am very confused. Please send help. I am in dire need. Iron Tusk 93, Iva, Jaden Easton, Jacob Kolnes, Jane V, John Van Hout, Joshua Krizwicki, Kara M, Katie T, Kaylee, Patney, Lickwe, Liv Rob, Lucian Vicina, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Marilee Borslow, Micah Simmons, Michael Decker, Monroe Page, Parks, Riley Ost, Robert Burke, Saba, Sam Farr, Sophia Arieta, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Hardy, 10 billion. This podcast peer pressured me into getting a letterbox. Tom Likes Beans, Vegard Strom, Vera S, William Fontaine, Jalbert, Xavier Fossier, Yolki Sasquatch, and Yusef A. Thank you. Few
Good
new
job
names
on
in
the names,
there.
Karsten.
Appreciate it, Jeff. So yeah, those are the patrons. That's the next week movie. That's the review. That's everything.
That's it.
So do we have anything else to say? I thought we had one other thing to say, but I forgot. No, I don't.
I couldn't
don't
tell
remember.
if you actually knew there was one more thing to say, and it
No.
was like a little preamble to get into it.
No, I was like, that would have been a cool preamble in the
yeah.
But what about
like you said that the way people are about to say like, oh, and it's this guy's birthday today.
Yeah.
You're like, there's one thing I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
But we will be doing two. I did this like a couple episodes ago where I'm like two, but I do it with both hands, so it's four.
We're doing two.
But yeah, we're doing two patron exclusive episodes plus a hangout this month.
Yep.
So look out for those.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of fun.
We don't have a date yet exact because we just did one patron hangout last week.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it this week technically?
It might have been this
week.
week.
No, it's Monday when this comes out.
Yeah. So no.
It was last week. But yeah, so
yeah.
we'll do another one this month. And we're doing, just
cool.
Be on the lookout.
Do you have anything else to say, Jeff?
Yeah, I sure do. Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.